Good morning, IndusViva. Okay, so that's how we are going to begin. Get ready. If you are somewhere near some vehicle or some, a place where it's very noisy, you can avoid unmuting. Otherwise, you can unmute and wish, and we will begin this beautiful day with a good morning, IndusViva, a vibrant wish to each one of us. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Admin, please unmute everybody.
Good
Very
morning.
good morning,
Morning,
Indus Viva.
sir.
Good morning,
Good
Indus
morning,
Viva.
Indus Viva.
Good
Morning,
Morning, Indus Viva.
morning,
Good morning, Indus Viva.
Indus Viva. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Vibrant Viva.
Morning, good morning.
morning.
Good morning,
Sir.
Good morning, bye. Good morning. Good morning, Indus Viva.
Sir, have a nice day.
Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Indus Viva.
Right.
Morning to all the
Good morning.
classmates.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Very good morning, Viva.
Very good morning. Vandanam, Vanakkam, Swagatam, Suswagatam, Sat Sri Akal, Assalamu Alaikum, and Namaste and Namaskar. Good
Good
morning.
morning, sir.
Ciao.
Good morning.
Right. Good morning.
Very good
Yes,
morning.
good morning.
Yes. Good morning. Hello, Vanakkam. Right.
Very good morning.
Thank you. Yes. So that was a very vibrant good morning from all our lovely participants to each one of us today. We are reaching almost 300 and the numbers are increasing. I know some people usually join after 2-3 minutes once the meeting is started. Yeah, they're very, very particular about joining only after the, entire people are ready. Okay, let's move forward. So last week, I had given an opportunity for all the people to ask the questions whatever they have pertaining to their IndusViva journey, their direct selling business, their success, and anything and everything which is connected to the business. And last week, many of you asked many questions, and I think I could answer about 4 or 5 if I'm not wrong. And we were able to start off very beautifully, and I think many people got a lot of clarity. Okay, so yes, thanks a lot for the good morning wishes in the chat box. And last week, when the questions were asked, it was very, very interesting, very, very useful for others. That's what the feedback I got after that. We have reached 304 people. Lovely. So now, this week, we're going to have something different. So what we'll do is, last week was you are supposed to type the message, your question in the chat box, and I used to read that one. That's how we were doing it. So this week, we're going to have something different. Whoever wants to ask a question, what you can do right now, I can see many people's hands are up. There is, if you go to the emotional emojis, there is an option called raise hand. You can see I have raised my hand now. So you can actually raise your hand, and there is also lower your hand. If your question is not there, you can lower. Many people have raised the hand. I request all of you to lower the hand. And when I start giving you the time to ask your question, you can raise your hand. So everybody now, please go ahead and lower your hand, because sometimes by mistake we have raised the hand. So raising the hand in digitally is like you are in a meeting and you are raising your hand like this. Excuse me, sir, I want to ask a question. So that is the meaning of that. So many people, without knowing, they have raised the hand. I request all of you, please lower the hand. Apna haath niche kijiye, right? Lower the hand. And now, yes, okay, I think everybody lower the hand. Beautiful, fantastic. You people are amazing people. Yes, it's my wonderful experience every time I come here in the morning club meet. Okay, so now if you have any questions, you can raise the hand. So admin, Olivia ma'am will look at that, will unmute you. Olivia ma'am will unmute you. And if possible, admin, if they are ready to share it, they want to talk, they want to ask the question, you can put them on the spotlight also, no problem. Let them come to the spotlight so that I can look at their, I can listen to their question. Everybody can listen to their question and we can answer the question. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Okay. Okay, so if you want to ask something, because more than typing in the chat box, writing it, it's difficult. So if you want to express, you can always, raise your hand. And it's good if you are raising your hand, if possible, try to keep your camera on so that when your camera is on, everybody can see you and they can look at your question, listen to your question and look at you, and I can answer that. Okay, so go ahead and raise your hand. If you have a question, please click. If you go to the emoji, there is an option called raise hand. So you can raise your hand. Okay. Admin, please go ahead. Yes. Mandula Lakshmi, sir, you are raising your hand, real hand. You can also raise your, what do you call, digital hand. Okay. Mandula Lakshmi, there is one person who is also wants to ask. So, admin, please unmute one by one and put them in the spotlight. Let's listen to their question and I will answer their question. It's a beautiful option for us to interact with each other. Instead of being a one-way communication, this is going to be a forum where we can discuss. Okay. So there are many hands going up. Yeah. Good morning. Who is this?
I am Chalapa from Tirupur.
Good morning, Mr. Chalapa. Tirupur from Tamil Nadu. Vanakkam.
Yes, sir. Sir, as a part-timer, I am not able to manage my time. Otherwise, I am not spend much time to Viva. But I am very eager to do this business and happy to do this business. How to manage my time, sir?
Fantastic question. Good morning. Thank you so much, Chalapa sir, for asking such a very, very interesting and important question. So, Chalapa sir, what do you do? Are you working? Are you into self-employment? What do you do?
Sir, I am working in Tirupur government field as a general manager.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You're a general manager. Wow. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, so sir is asking us a question, and yes, thanks for asking the question, Chalapa sir. I will answer your question now.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sir is already in very, very high position. He's a general manager in garments, I think, in a factory or in a big company, and he is doing IndusViva part time. Okay, that's his question. How can I manage my time? Vipin Chako is saying, I got a question. What is good for business? Okay, Vipin Bhai, I'll come back to you. Our diamond is here, our good friend Vipin ji is asking a question. But before that, let me go to Chalapa's question, Chalapa sir's question. He's asked us, how do I manage my time, right? So, Chalapa sir, let me tell you, being an entrepreneur is a fantastic choice. It's a choice what we make. And you have chosen to be an entrepreneur. I really appreciate, because moving, according to Robert Kiyosaki, moving from left quadrant to the right quadrant is a journey. And what happens most of the time is people start from E quadrant, then they go to S quadrant, then they go to B quadrant, and then they go to I quadrant. This is just journey. So in your case, you're already being in a job and still very highly successful in your job as a general manager. Now you're choosing to move to the right quadrant. So to move to the right quadrant, we all have selected IndusViva as a path. So what is our intention of being in IndusViva? Our intention of being in IndusViva is very simple. We want to shift ourselves from the left quadrant to the right quadrant. So in this journey, sir was asking me the question that how do I manage my time? See, there is a level, especially when we come into IndusViva in the beginning days, the uplines will give us a lot of support, especially the full-time uplines will give us a lot of support. And if possible, the first few tips, not only for Mr. Chalapa and all the people who are actually having this question, it may be your question, it may be the question of your team members. So remember this answer and these piece of advice which I'm sharing here out of my experience in this journey. The first thing, take the help of your active LOS. There are a lot of full-timers. As a full-timer, I am a full-timer, not a full-timer, I'm a lifetimer. There are a lot of uplines who are full-timers, those who can support you. That's the advice number one to Mr. Chalapa and for all the others who want to know how to manage the time, especially those who are part-timers. Access your LOS and accept their support. So that's first step. The second one is Connect your team members to the system. Connect your team members to the system. So what happens when you access your appliance? The first suggestion. The second suggestion, when you plug in your team members to the system, they are not joining Mr. Chalapa or anyone for that matter. They are associating with a company called IndusViva, and they are following a system called VibrantViva. So the company is bigger than an individual. The system is more powerful than an individual. So what happens through this, we will be able to support maximum to our team members. We will be able to give them more care and more support. So these two suggestions you can adapt, Mr. Chalapa, so that you can actually start making your team members feel that you have not joined Mr. Chalapa. I am only a facilitator. I am a facilitator in the beginning. All of you are going to be connected to the VibrantViva education system, the IndusViva company, and the supporting system, whatever our appliance are giving. So this will help you to expand your business to a larger level, to a bigger level. Your team members will get more support. Your appliance will be more connected. Your team members will be more connected to the appliance and to the system. That way, you will reduce the dependency of your team on you. This is being a smart entrepreneur in IndusViva. Can Mr. Prem Kumar Royal Black Diamond be everywhere, every time? I cannot be, because I am an individual. I have a limitation. But the VibrantViva system and IndusViva's whatever support is provided by the company, that can be available to 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, even 10,000 or 1 lakh people around the country, across the country. So the system is more powerful. The company is bigger than the individual. This way, we will be able to cater to more number of team members. And the second part is, we can actually manage ourselves better when we manage our time better. So the third advice would be, schedule your time and stick on to it. And as a general manager, Mr. Chalapa, I think you already have a vast experience of managing people and managing resources. And one of the best advice I got from my mentor is that manage your time very well. If you can manage your time very well, that is a resource. You will be able to allocate for everything and you will be able to manage it. And the fourth advice is, you should have a plan to take up the business in a bigger way. Like, for example, you can start, planning when you are going to be a full-timer in future by talking to some of your active appliance, especially if you have a diamond appliance whom you're able to access. They will be able to sit with you and give you a roadmap on how you can become a full-timer going forward. And when is the right time to become a full-timer? When your weekly income in IndusViva is reaching a level which can match your monthly earning, or in simple ways, when your IndusViva income is overtaking your regular income. When there is an indication of that, you can come full-time and then push it forward and take it to the next level. So these are the few advices to Mr. Chalapa and to others, those who have this kind of question. And this question may come to many of your associates also. And one more important point, Mr. Chalapa, being a part-timer, you will be able to do a little service to your team. But when the time comes, when it's time for you to take up the lead, because your team will not come forward unless they see you in action. So when you come forward seriously as a full-timer, that will give a lot of courage to your team members to go forward very, very boldly in their journey of becoming an entrepreneur. So that was the answer for Mr. Chalapa. Yes, we have Mr. Vipin asking a question. I got a question. So can we unmute our Vipin Chako? Admin, please unmute Mr. Vipin Chako, EPD. Executive Purple Diamond, and he has a question. I think his question is a very, very nice question. Vipinji, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Premji. Very good morning.
Very good morning. How are you, Vipinji?
I'm good. I'm good.
Very happy to see you in the morning club meet. Very, very
I'm
interesting.
attending every day morning club because the morning club is very important. Because what I see is many people are from my team also. They are there in the morning club, and if we are not attending the morning club, all this knowledge, they will be little more upgraded than us. Then it is very hard for every leader to compete with them. So
Yeah, and you are actually accessing the power of the system.
Yeah, of course. Sir, my question is...
Tell me, Vipinji, what's your question?
Yeah, the professionalism, see, in our team, there are many people whom we are very much emotionally connected, in long time we are working with them. And suddenly if their performance is coming down, we are supporting them. But ultimately, we have to go forward, right? At that time, we are in a big confusion when we are selecting the people, whether we have to select the people whom we are emotionally very much attached, or we have to think about only the new productive people, So I am having a confusion while running this business. What we have to take care, whether emotionally professional we have to be, or professionally emotional we have to be, You're understanding my question, I hope.
Yeah. Okay, so that's your question. Thank you, Vipinji, for asking that question. And my dear friends, and this is a very, very beautiful question. And I think
it's a big journey, right? Because we have already completed 8 to 9 years. Many people are there. Yet they are like, initially they were very good with us, and still they are having a good relationship with us. But when we are building the business, at that time, I'm not sure whether, with all those emotions we have to take care, or we have to be, in a professional way, so that, we have to build the business in how we are going to tackle this, both the people, Some people, we are not emotionally connected, but they are good performing in our business. And some people are emotionally very much connected. So I don't want to, break their hearts, or what exactly. I'm just confused in that stream, actually.
Yes,
so I think you are the best person you can answer this thing, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Vipinji. Thank you. I think, friends, it's a very, very nice question Mr. Vipin is asking us today. And it actually is a situation which all of us face when we are building our people. There is a juncture, there is a situation in which, at that juncture, we feel what is to be decided. And I remember the famous quote of Tony Robbins, which actually is there in our flip chart in the last page. I think all of you remember, in moments of decision, destinies shift, right? That's what Tony Robbins says. And taking decision at that moment is very, very important. And who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is not someone who takes the right decision, because in life, I believe we cannot take the right decision. But there is one choice for all of us. You can take a decision and make it right. Because there is nothing called as a right decision or a wrong decision. For example, you want to marry a girl and you like her. Okay, I'm talking about guys. And many people are confused. Is she my right partner? Am I the right partner for her? Is it the right marriage? And if you ask me, I would say, if you decide you like her and she likes you, you marry and make sure your marriage becomes successful, and the world will say, yes, this decision was right. The same way as Vipinji was asking, what is that which we need to have that, that quality of taking a decision? How do we take this decision? The first thing is, Vipinji, let me take the experience out of my own life. I have been a good performer sometime. I have been an average performer at times. I've been outstanding performer at times. And what I have noticed in my mentor, that beauty, that intelligence, I want to share it here. So, how do we choose people? How do we select people when we are going forward in our journey? How do we select people? So, in leadership, there is something called as empathy and sympathy. Empathy and sympathy. What is empathy? That's what my mentor taught me. And what is sympathy? I think we all know. Sympathy is feeling sad for someone, sympathizing someone, and emotionally being connected to someone. Sympathy. Sometimes we see some beggars on the road. We see some women carrying the child and, asking for money in the signal. We feel so sympathetic. We are having food somewhere. Somebody comes and says, Anna, Anna, food, food, food. So we feel so much of, sympathy for them and we immediately help them. According to my mentor, Abhilashji, sympathy is a great quality. Each one of us, we are human beings. We must have emotions. If you remove the emotions from Prem Kumar, from Vipin Chako, from all of you, we are no more human beings. We are just robots. If you watch the movie of Rajinikanth, the one who made the master Vasigaran, the scientist Rajinikanth is making one robot called Chiti. And they are, at one moment, they are fighting because the Chiti is having all the features, it is not having the emotion. So they are trying to bring the emotion in that. So if we lose the emotions, we are not human beings. We will lose the humanity, or I would say the humanness in us. So should we have emotions? Yes. You must have emotions. But at the same time, my dear friends, if you are controlled by your emotions, then you become a sympathetic leader. A leader with a lot of sympathy. And where is the place for us to show sympathy? If you ask me, when you see someone who is very poor, struggling, needy, you must be sympathetic. For example, IndusViva is running a school which is in the second floor in Viva Tower. If you go to IndusViva Tower in Bangalore, there is a school called as IndusViva, School for Special Children. And the moment you enter there, you find different, children from different background and having a lot of basic issues. And our teachers, our therapists, they are working on them. And you have a lot of emotions coming out. And one floor above that, the third floor, is where our CEO, our chairman, our corporate team is sitting, third floor and fourth floor. The tower is a classic example of how we should be in our life. You want to show sympathy, you have a separate department for that. Go to a temple, buy food for the poor people, help the needy, you be a sympathetic human being. In business, your thought should not just go by sympathy, it should go by empathy. That is empowerment. So my mentor, whenever I was not a great performer, he never showed any sympathy to me. He showed that care. He said, Premji, tell me what support you want to make your business back in shape. I will be with you. He always stood with me in tough times, but he never showed any sympathy. If there were 10 leaders in the team, example, Vipin Chakoji, I'm telling you this example. If there are 10 leaders, if I am one of the 10, my mentor used to tell me, Prem, make sure you are not missing out on the target, on the volumes, on the income, what you are supposed to achieve. If you don't do that, it is not right. And I am having a lot of trust on you. I am expecting you. So he always wanted me to be empowered instead of showing sympathy. And many a times, I being an associate with my mentor, Abhilashji, I used to have my challenges in my life, my financial challenges, my family problem, and all those things. But whenever I used to share my problems, he used to say, don't worry, you will be out of it. But he never mixed the emotional part and the business part. Whenever he was listening to my problems, he was a good friend. And he was sitting with me, spending 1 hour, 2 hours time, sometimes 3 hours. I have spent hours and hours with my mentor. He used to listen to me. He used to empower me. But when it comes to business, he will never ever mix the emotional part in my business. He was always an empowering mentor. So, Vipinji, what we should do, according to my understanding, is we should help people in order to come out of their situation, but then there is a limitation to what we can help. So the best advice, according to me, to Vipinji and all the fellow Vivites watching this, morning club meet, or sometime you're listening later, this digital recorded version, my suggestion is, if we have limited number of people as a choice, we will be dependent on them and we will have to sympathize on them and we will be stuck in our journey. So in order to not to be stuck with people, in order to not get into sympathizing them, we should always have more options. We should have more leaders with us. And when we have more options, we are very actively engaged with our team members. The people who are not performing will automatically get activated. They will get the message very clearly. If I am not listening to my upline, Mr. Vipin Chaco, in this year, Mr. Vipin is going to become Black Diamond. So Vipin is going to become a Black Diamond with me or without me. This message has to go clearly to the minds of your team members. And when they get this message very clearly, instead of they pulling you down, they will run behind you, they will push you, they will respond to you in a positive way. Otherwise, carrying emotional baggage, sometimes, Vipinji and all my lovely Vivites, having emotional baggage will actually even slow down your own progress. When we are climbing the mountains, especially talking about peak climbing, the Mount Everest and all, there is, the beginning of the journey in the bottom of the hill or the mountain, they carry a lot of things, they go. And after certain altitude, the guide will tell everybody, drop all unwanted luggages in this point, because now it's a very peak climbing. In this peak climbing, you cannot carry too many luggages. You need to drop unwanted and shed unwanted luggages. So they will keep everything in one particular place and they will take the minimum things like water, food. They're very, very essential things. And that's when they're able to climb the peak. So, in our journey as entrepreneurs with IndusViva, we should also remember this point. Sympathy kills. Empathetic leadership is what we need to show, right? So that way we will be able to create more leaders, and also we will go forward, we will be an achiever, and our team members also will follow us. So we need not tell people that I am not going to focus on you, I am not going to support you. We should be busy with more leaders. That message is enough for our team members. They will understand, because समझदार लोगों के लिए इशारा काफी है. That's what is the best way to actually treat this problem. Vipin ji, hope it helped you to understand the way to tackle this. If sometime if needed, we will discuss on this. Yes, that was a question from our lovely diamond, Mr. Vipin ji, and yes,
thank you very much.
Yes,
thank
Vipin.
you very much. Prem sir, thank you very much.
Yes, okay. So let's go to the next question. I think before we wind up today, one more last question. Anybody is there? Yes, Mr. Sheshadri is there from Bangalore. I think, admin, if you can unmute Mr. Sheshadri and put him on the spotlight.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Very good morning, Mr. Sheshadri. Yes, how are you?
Fine, sir. Doing well.
Fantastic. Tell me, Sheshadri ji, what is your question?
Yeah, most of the times we try to bring in youngsters to this business. But most of the times we are failing because of they are unaware of network marketing.
Correct.
And how to do this? Like I know I'm concentrating more to bring youngsters into the business, but I'm failing in that. Normally we'll have friends of our age, might be around 40, 50, like that.
Yes.
I wanted to be like a leader who can bring in 25 to 30 years, 35 years age of people.
People, yeah.
I'm unable to do that, sir. Any tips for that, sir?
Sure. Fantastic. Yeah. So it's like, let me take the quote of IBM for answering Mr. Sheshadri.
Yes, sir.
What Mr. Sheshadri was asking is, I want to bring a lot of youngsters into the business, but I'm unable to bring them. So what can be the suggestion for this? Yes, the suggestion to him and to all of us is, first thing is, when you want to bring someone, especially let's say youngsters, you should be able to follow the advice of IBM. What IBM says is, don't sell what you have, but sell what they want. Don't sell what you have, sell what they want. So your presentation and your approach and your explanation, or whatever you call it, the proposal, it should be attractive to the youth. For example, I'll give you one example, Sheshadri and all the others. You can listen to this. It's very interesting. If I meet Mr. Sheshadri, who is married and having 2 children, and he says, okay, I meet him and Mr. Sheshadri is like, okay, what do you do, Mr. Sheshadri? Sir, I'm into a job. I have 2 children. They're studying and she's my wife and this is my mother. Okay. Sheshadri, who is a family man, my presentation is with a lot of family values, with a lot of family in the mind. When I'm presenting the IndusViva plan, I will be saying, Mr. Sheshadri, when you become, a Ruby executive, you will be able to travel to this particular place along with your wife. This is what is the reward. For example, I'm just giving an example. When it's coming about a star summit, Mr. Sheshadri, you and your wife will be able to attend this 3 days program of star summit. And whatever income you are going to make it, this is going to secure the future of your children. So I'm not selling what I have, I'm selling what he wants. So you're packaging it for a family man. Now the question is, how do I package it for a youngster? For a youngster. You have so many selling points for youngsters because today's youngsters, they are very, 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 very fascinated. Because today the WhatsApp and the Instagram and not the Google is now getting outdated. I think Chat GPT, the zamana of Chat GPT, the youngsters today are well informed, very, very innovative and very high thinking. Because recently I was in a lift in my, in one of my program, and 2 kids were standing, and one of them was talking about a supercar. The child was about 5-6 years old. The child is talking to another child, a friend, about a supercar, about Ferrari. I was just looking at them and I asked, hey, do you know what is Ferrari? He said, yeah, Ferrari, this is the model, Grand Tourer, this is the cost, and this is how it is. And I was like surprised because at that age, I never knew what is even a supercar. So today's youngsters, they are very, very high thinking. The only problem with today's youngsters is that they have many options and they are actually not able to focus. They are more, disturbed, or I would say diverted into many areas. So if you can actually present the plan to the youngsters with the flashy things, especially today's generation, they love Apple laptop, your iPhone, you have a flashy car, and you have a fantastic product, right? All these things will be very, very attractive to today's youth, especially. So, for example, I'm meeting Sheshadri, one of my family member. Sheshadri is a good friend of my cousin, and Sheshadri is not a family man at that time. He's a youngster. He's in the college, in the 3rd year. And if I'm talking to Sheshadri, I will ask him, okay, Sheshadri, what's your dream? What do you want to do next? Oh, Premji, now I'm completing my graduation. Next, I'm planning to actually do my post-graduation, MBA. And that's what is the plan as of now. Okay, after post-graduation, after post-graduation, I will get good marks and I just want to look for a job in some good IT company. And I want to actually start my life. Wow, beautiful, Sheshadri. I just want to tell you one statement, just as a friend, as an advice. Somebody very, very great, they said, if you have a dream, you will work for yourself. If you don't have a dream, somebody will hire you to work for their dream. This recently, I read this somewhere. I thought I should share it with you because Sheshadri, I think you are very, very talented and you should always think about doing something on your own, building something of your own. Why don't you start a business? I'm not telling you to do IndusViva. I'm just telling you, start a business. Oh, Premji, starting a business, it's so tough and, a lot of investment and a lot of headaches and all that. No, Sheshadri, yes, that is true. What you said was right for some time ago. But right now, the world is changing. Have you heard about Mark Zuckerberg? He started from his room. He was, he's the founder of Facebook. And today's, world is changing. There are a lot of options, a lot of ideas, a lot of medium, a lot of digital platforms where you can also be an entrepreneur. And if you're interested, I can help you out with some ideas. Let us discuss on that whenever you are free. So this is how I'm trying to sell what they need rather than what I have. You can also sell some points like one is I said about working for yourself and working for others. There can be other things. When you are working in a job, Sheshadri, you will actually literally lose your freedom. You will be confined to whatever the company is telling you to do. You cannot explore your best part. You cannot explore your creativity. And I think you love freedom. You don't want to be confined or, under somebody's supervision. So with that kind of a quality, you should be an entrepreneur. So my dear friends, especially to Sheshadri and to others, so when you are talking to someone, if they are in the middle age, talk to them about that. Especially I was talking to somebody who was little senior in their age, in their 50s, those who kind of retired from a job. And I was telling them, this is your second innings. Whatever was missing in the first innings, let us do it in the second innings. This is how I was selling to somebody who is in their second innings. To a family man, middle-aged, I'm talking that way. I'm to a youngster, I'm talking that way. Right? So that's how we can actually customize our approach according to the person's. My mentor Abhilashji says the rubber band theory. The rubber band? The rubber band, you can put it according to the size of that. If I roll a small sheet of paper, right? If I roll a sheet like this and I put a rubber band, the rubber band takes the shape of this paper because rubber band is flexible. So our approach also should be like the rubber band theory. That way we will be able to, attractively present it to anybody and everybody. Oh, so fantastic. Thank you so